Hello, everybody, and welcome to Taking Control, the ADHD podcast on True Story FM. I'm Pete Wright, and I'm here with Nikki Kinzer.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Pete Wright.
Hello, Nikki Kinzer. I'm excited for the show today. It's very inspirational. Didn't know what you were talking about when you were inspired, as if struck by lightning, for this conversation.
Yep.
But now I'm excited about it, and I'm ready to talk about, celebrating what we do with our ADHD and what we accomplish. It's going to be great.
Yes.
And this is officially our second episode in the season. It's a good way to kick in. If you are new to us, we invite you to head over to takecontroladhd.com to get to know us a little bit better. You can listen to the show right there on the website or subscribe to the mailing list, and we will send you an email each time a new episode is released. You can find us on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or Blue Sky at Take Control ADHD. But to really connect with us, join the ADHD Discord community. It's super easy to jump in the general community chat channel, totally free. Just visit takecontroladhd.com/Discord to join in there. You'll see all of our current open public channels. It's a fantastic community. If you're looking for a little bit more, if the show has ever touched you or helped you understand your relationship with ADHD in a new way, we invite you to support the show directly through Patreon. Patreon is listener-supported podcasting. With a few dollars a month, you can help guarantee that we continue to grow the show, add new features, and invest more heavily in the community. And we would love you to do that at patreon.com/the ADHD Podcast. It's a tough market out there for podcasters. And I am hearing so many podcasts that are normally ad-supported are deeply struggling. And I cannot say enough from the bottom of my heart how much we appreciate member support, because member support is stable support. It is support that keeps the show going. And we are not at the whims of the advertising market, which is finicky and persnickety and shrinking right now. It's uncertain for a lot of shows. And so deeply grateful this fine January as we drop this show for all of your support. If you haven't started supporting the show yet, now's a great time. Now's a great time. It means a lot. It really, really, really does. So thank you, everyone, for doing it. Head over to patreon.com/the ADHD Podcast. Pretty please. And now let's celebrate what we do. Nikki, where did this come from?
I have no idea. Because I really don't know where this came from. It just, when the inspiration hits, it hits and you go with it. And we were thinking about what we were going to talk about last week and how we were going to start the year. And this just felt like it was a great addition to what we talked about with breaking free from, that try harder trap, right? Let's try less hard. Let's not try harder. And so I thought this week it would be great to really focus and appreciate what we do. All right. What we do.
You said it.
I said it.
People said it.
I'm expecting you to say something.
It was there. The problem is I was coughing and I wasn't quite ready. But we do. You do.
We need to appreciate what we do. Oh, God. We are silly. All right. So, but that is really what this show's about, is celebrating the effort and the courage and the perseverance to live with ADHD.
I love it. And what better time to think about that stuff than when we're in the middle of stuff. And right now in our community, we're in the middle of the declutter challenge. Like, people are really taking control of their space, which is so exciting, and thinking about, putting that sort of mindful approach to how they live in their skin and with their things and in their shelters. And what a great time to focus on how we do live with ADHD in a positive way.
Yeah. So before we get to the positive, we probably need to talk a little bit about what's going on and why it is so important that we go into more of that positive outlook and appreciate and celebrate that effort. So this is what I know from working with a lot of ADHDers, with living with people with ADHD. ADHDers do not give themselves enough credit.
Yeah, because whatever we do, it's always done from the perspective of deficit.
Right.
It's done too late. It's done too little. It's never quite enough.
Not enough. Right. They dismiss the good way too fast.
Mhm.
So something good might happen, but then there's this but.
There's
Right?
always a but.
There's always a but. And there's always it could have been better. It could have been different, whatever. So, or they don't believe that it's true. Like it was just sort of a once in a lifetime thing that this happened and it's never going to happen again.
Yeah. By dint of luck, were we able
Yes.
to get XYZ
Yes,
done.
absolutely. Definitely their worst critics. They're harder on themselves than anyone will be on them.
hmm
Take the blame when no blame is to even be had.
Oh, right. Oh, this is actually my favorite one. This is the manufacturing our own blame
Yes.
syndrome.
It's
Yeah.
It's all the sorries.
MBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the sorries.
All
It
the
is.
sorries.
I don't even know. Like, it's the thing. If you look around the room and you don't see who to blame, it's always you.
It's always you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to say sorry, even if you don't even know what you're sorry about. You're going to
And if you're not Canadian.
Yeah, exactly. So expectations are always too high.
Expectations are neurotypical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lots of should statements. They're loud, all over the place. Limiting beliefs are very, very strong. Those are the stories that we tell ourselves about who we think we are, what we can do, what we can't do. Those keep playing over and over again in our mind. Perfectionism is something that people want, but it's not real. So you're trying for something that you're really never going to get because it's not a real thing. And it's, what is perfect? It's in whose terms, like who defines that, right?
Totally subjective.
Yeah. I do know that ADHD is not a character flaw. I know that it's not your fault, and I know it's real.
Which is sadly a controversial statement.
Yes. So what I did when I was thinking about this outline and what do we want the message to be? I flipped everything. So I am going to go through what we're calling for a change of mindset, and we're going to flip the script. So from instead of feeling like ADHDers do not give themselves enough credit, we are going to start to celebrate what you do because it took time, it took effort, it's not easy, and you got it done.
Make me feel good.
What have you done today? What was the very first? And then it's early in the morning. So what have you done today that you can say, I got done or I feel good about this?
I have done 2 things today that three things. I walked my dog. That's
Love
always good. It wasn't raining. That set me up for a good
day. A good day. Yeah.
There have been 2 tasks that I have been struggling with that have been clogging tasks. And number 1 is writing a blog post about a new feature in Todoist, an experimental feature that we've been talking about for a while. And I wrote that post. And the second is to write my reflections piece, believe it or not, months late, for my own website about unapologetically ADHD, about the book that we wrote together. And so far we've put all of that stuff on takecontroladhd.com. I've never written anything on itsmepete.com, and I wanted to finally write that piece. I haven't published it yet, but it's done. And I'm very excited because it's been that thing that I've really been stuck on. It's possible besides this podcast. That's all I've got for today.
That's okay. But
that feels good.
But look at what you just did. You dismissed it.
Oh, I did. I totally did. God, I hate getting caught.
Oh, you just got caught, my friend. We're celebrating what you've done. And you know what I've done? I got up. And I wasn't late. And I'm here. And that's all I've done is I got up, I got ready for the day, and I went straight into my office, and here I am. I haven't done I'm going to do it. I haven't done anything productive. No, but that's not true. Like I'm up, I'm ready for my day. Like
Yeah.
that's a success. So
That is a
it's
success.
training your brain to like stop and pause for a moment and not dismiss everything.
Man, how quickly, how habitually that happens. And I've been thinking about ADHD and my reaction to it for 25 years, and it still sneaks up around the
Oh, it
corner.
still sneaks up. So
God.
that's really kind of where they, we dismiss the good way too fast. So now we need to pause for enough
Yeah.
time to really recognize that no, Pete got some really great stuff done today,
Mhm.
and I'm ready for my day today. Like
Yeah.
I'm ready to
Right.
jump in. So we have to really recognize and know that what we are doing matters. It's
Yeah.
not about everything. It's what we're doing that matters. So okay, so ADHDers are their worst critics. So to flip that, we need to know it's okay to ask for help, and we need to advocate for what we need. It doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It just means that the people around you need to be more flexible. They need
Yeah.
to change. How about that?
Oh. Oh, I like that. Insofar as I like the spirit of it, I also recognize how hard it is to wait for other people to change.
Right. And you know what? That's not exactly what
Yeah.
I'm asking, because you're right. Like, we're not going to have control over other people changing.
Right.
But the
But at least
thought
we recognize we don't have
is
to take responsibility for somebody else not changing.
you don't have to take the blame, which
Yeah.
is the next thing, right? That just because someone else, you feel like someone is irritated with you because you talk too much. Like, okay, well, they need to be, think about it as they probably need to have some help with their patience,
Yeah.
whatever. Like, it might be, you don't necessarily have to take the blame right away. So that's what we're
Right.
looking for, is that it goes back to when I told my daughter a long time ago that she was talking too loud, and she said, "You're talking too quiet."
Yeah.
I'm
That's pretty
like,
good.
yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So it's just a different way of thinking, taking the blame when no blame is to be had. So treating yourself the way you treat someone you love, and we're using the same language. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
automatically blame someone for something, and so why are you automatically blaming yourself for the same thing? Like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
tell your best friend, "Oh, well, this is your fault." Like, you wouldn't
Yeah.
say that, but yet you can say that to yourself. So we are practicing compassion, self-compassion,
Mhm.
and pausing enough to be able to say, wait a minute, what's the truth here? What's really going on? And protecting
Mhm.
yourself, protecting
Yeah.
your peace. So resetting that automatic, this is my fault button.
Yep.
We want to be more curious and look for more information before making assumptions, because we don't know what may be true. And more likely than not, they're not true.
Yeah. Somebody asked a question the other day that I thought was really interesting. I think I found it on Blue Sky. That was, what percentage of what people tell themselves or what people say do you think they believe? Like, deep in their heart believe?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
That's a thoughtful question around, like, what do I believe when you personalize it and think, what do I believe about myself? What percentage of what I say do I actually believe about myself? And with ADHD, that answer is pretty low, because I come to you and say, well, I accomplished something and it's really great. Do I really believe that? I think that's part of taking ownership of your identity in all of your, all of the blessings and the things that you're frustrated with, right?
Right.
Like, and being able to see it all. And it's hard to do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to raise that
Oh,
percentage.
all of this is hard to
Yeah.
do, for
Right.
sure. So when we talk about the expectations are being too high, lowering your expectations does not mean that you don't care. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you are expecting less from yourself, or your work ethic is low. None of that. It doesn't mean any of that. Your
Mhm.
expectations were too high for anyone. So you being more realistic with your time and taking care of your mental health, should be and I'm going to say should here, even though I hate that word, but we want it to be your number one priority. So if
Yeah.
you can feel better by focusing on, what it is being done, and not beat yourself up for the expectations that weren't realistic anyway, like that's going to be better for your mental health. That's going to be better for, lowering your stress and anxiety, but it's getting
For sure.
comfortable with that, which
Yeah.
is the hard part. The limiting beliefs. This I learned from one of our past guests from a long time ago, when we talked about the adult chair. Remember that a long time ago?
Yeah. Michelle Chalfant.
Yeah. Thinking the limiting beliefs for being there, acknowledging that they're there. They're there to protect us from harm or from hurt. But then we can just, politely ask them to leave. We've
Yeah.
got this.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Make
showing
it
up. But
Yeah. Make that a
it's all right.
practice.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because they're going to still show up.
Yep. Yep.
Perfectionism. I like the saying progress over perfection always. That's what we're looking for is progress,
Yeah.
whatever that is. Doesn't have to be big. It can be small. It can be visiting the task.
Yeah. Moving the ball down the field.
Yeah, for sure. And then when we're talking about the last 3 points of ADHD is not a character flaw, it's not your fault, and it is real. I think ADHD is something that you come to terms with. It's something you have, but it's not who you are. You're not a bad person. You embrace it, you accept it. None of it is easy. But certainly you get to live that life that you want to live, whatever that looks like for you. And
Yeah.
having that be part of who you are, but it's not who you are in the sense of who you are as a person. Like you can be kind, you can be compassionate, and you can still be 5 minutes late.
Yeah. Right. That the end of the world is not nigh.
No.
Right. It's
If you
okay.
if you lose your keys for the 100th million time, it's okay. You're
Yeah.
still a good
Yeah.
dad. You're still a good partner. You're still whatever.
Yeah.
So that never happens in my home. So that's why
No.
I immediately went to you're
Right.
still a good dad. Wink, wink, Brad Kinzer. Wink, wink. Love you, honey.
Well, I was thinking about some of the things that we talk about with ADHD as the challenges, like you said, some of the sort of bookmark items of ADHD, hyperfocus, right? Hyperfocus is a true double-edged sword, right? It's it can be, or it is sometimes channeled into bursts of intense concentration to accomplish a goal. But most of the time when we talk about it as this sort of unmetered, unregulated engine, right? It's just when it happens, and it's kind of out of your control. But if you do take a step back and say, look, I can channel my focus into something that leads to bursts of intense concentration, I can make a practice of thinking and being really thoughtful about my hyperfocus. And when it does work, it's a thing worth celebrating. Sometimes it's worth celebrating. It's a thing I can do that a lot of people can't. They can't sit there that long and just get something done. And I know it doesn't always work. I know sometimes it might work against me. But when it does work, I want to be ready to say thank you.
Yeah.
I want to be ready to say thank you to it.
I
Same
love
thing
that.
with creativity and innovation, right? When you're growing up with ADHD, you're distracted, you're not on task, you're, whatever you're doing, you're doodling, you're talking in class, whatever. But frankly, like as an adult, that sort of thinking is exactly what you want to harness and be grateful for. That it's not distraction. It is out of the box thinking. It's making connections that others haven't made yet. It's being ready to write something great or create something fantastic because that is new and novel. And I think it's important to be thankful for that, right? That it just because your house is a mess doesn't mean you don't have to be grateful for whatever creative burst got it there.
Right.
Like
Right.
be ready for that. Same thing with adaptability, right? We have to be resilient and adaptable, and we talk about it like it is a curse, right? We have to, adjust ourselves to a neuronormative world. And I would support saying, look, I can adapt to a neuronormative world. I have years and years of practice trying to change, right? Adapting to new situations and being resilient in ways that many of my peers and colleagues have not had to do, except here, which is everyone has had to do that. But you get my point? Like the idea is I have practiced doing a thing that's hard. It's time for me to turn around and say, look, I have a skill in doing a thing that's hard.
Absolutely.
Right? When I find something that I love, I am deeply passionate and enthusiastic about it, and I want to scream it from the rooftops. I was once called a magnifier or an amplifier of enthusiasm by a friend of mine in my fandom. It is a thing that we have in spades. When we love a thing, we can be infectious about it, and that's not terrible.
No.
It's not terrible to be a booster, whether it's a band or a movie or a podcast. It's not a bad thing to share it with the world and be excited. It's not a thing to be shamed. We have, I think research is out on a direct connection, but I'll tell you, based on my rigorous empirical research, that I feel like the people with ADHD have a heightened sense of empathy and intuition. And what do we need more than empathy and intuition right now, right? People who see the humanity in others, even when they can't see it in themselves. That's something we've got, right? We've got that in spades.
I love that.
And I think it's worth celebrating that stuff. That's my list. That's Pete's top 5 of things that just feel right when we turn it around.
That's great. It's great. So have a little bit of an exercise for people if they're willing to try it. At the end of the day, write your done list. This is not a new concept, but it may surprise you if you actually do it, because you'll notice and you'll see everything that you are doing. And it is a real nice reminder that you are doing some great things, in the world, for yourself, for friends, family, whatever it might be, for you. Walking the dog. Your dog is going to be appreciative of that. Yes. Yeah. All of those things.
My carpet, because he's not going to do on it.
Well, yeah, we hope not. I do see what you did there. Yeah.
I did that.
It's all good. It's all good. Absolutely. Oh, and I know one of the things I was going to add too about this done list is that nothing is too small and resting counts.
Yeah, resting. I will add eating. Resting, feeding yourself, taking care of yourself.
Yes.
All of that counts.
Downtime, all of that counts.
Do you know what I got in the mail? I got a revitalizing eye mask. And I'm going to say the doTERRA revitalizing eye mask that you got in the mail counts.
Yes.
That's on the list.
You're going to use it, and then you're going to come on the show, and you're going to have
eyes
little
are gonna look so young.
Yeah, exactly. Or you're going to come on the show with the eye mask.
Or horrific allergy.
And it's all red and puffy, but hopefully that's not the case.
It all counts. It all counts.
Good stuff.
That's it. Happy day, everybody. Go out and get some stuff done, no matter how small, and feel good about it. And hope you feel like there's something inspirational about just going through the process. We sure appreciate you and all that you do to download and listen to this show. Thanks for your time and your attention. Don't forget, if you have something to contribute to the conversation, we're heading over to the Show Talk channel in the Discord server, and you can join us right there by becoming a supporting member at the deluxe level or better. On behalf of Nikki Kinzer, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll see you right back here next week on Taking Control, the ADHD Podcast.